She met me at the door with a kiss, smelled like rosemary and dish soap, and handed me a plate before I even put my keys down. Chicken, roasted carrots, a salad she knew I liked. She leaned on my shoulder while I ate, cheek warm, easy smile. "You had a long one?" she asked, tapping my tie. "Your face does that tired thing." "It's a face, Lauren. It's supposed to do face things." She snorted. "Eat. Then couch. I saved the last episode for you." I remember thinking, this is it. This is how it's supposed to feel. I'm 45, not 25. I don't need fireworks every night. I need this. A woman who makes space for me. A home that doesn't pick fights. I cleaned my plate, rinsed it, hugged her from behind while she put the leftovers into containers. "This is a good life," I told her. She looked up at me. "It is." If I'd known where it was headed, I would have finished 2 plates and bought flowers on my way to Plan B. The first odd note came 3 nights later. Not a blow-up. A flicker. I walked into the living room and Lauren slid her phone screen down on the cushion. Not a crime. Then she turned her body, so the phone vanished behind her thigh. "Who's hiding?" I asked, standing by the doorway. Calm. Teasing. "Who's paranoid?" She grinned, but the grin got stuck halfway. "Jess sent a stupid meme. You'd roll your eyes." I roll them professionally. I held out my hand. She laughed and stayed where she was. "You trust me?" "That's not the question I asked. It's the answer I'm giving." She tapped the cushion. "Sit. Your show is on." I didn't push. I don't take bait. But I marked it. A pin on a quiet map. The map got a second pin the following week at Carol's Sunday dinner. Carol is her mother, a woman who keeps 3 timers going and never writes anything down. We were chopping vegetables at the island when Lauren's phone lit up on the counter. She reached past me and flipped it, face down, quick. Carol glanced over. "You two should take a trip," Carol chirped. "Fall colors. You always say you'll go, and then you don't." "I'd love to," I said. Lauren kept chopping. "Works a lot. October is messy. October has days in it," I said, only half kidding. She came back with, "So take Jess. She's always free for nonsense," and smirked at Carol like I was the one avoiding sunlight. Carol laughed. It was gentle, but it landed wrong. Nobody likes being nudged into a corner in front of an audience. On the drive home, I watched the road and let the silence do its job. At the light, Lauren adjusted the mirror, then looked at me sideways. "Don't brood," she said. "I'm not 13. I'm not brooding." "You're pouting. Not my sport." I turned left. "About the phone. For the love of it, Dan. We can have a normal rule. Face up, no hiding. Both of us. Easy." She crossed her arms. "I'm not a child. Good news. Neither am I." I kept my voice steady. "No speeches. Just clarity. Face up, or we go back to flip phones like it's 2005 and I start wearing cargo shorts." She smiled at that, unwilling, then looked out the window. "Fine. Face up. Happy. Reasonable." The next day, I brought home flowers from the corner market. She put them in water and kissed me long, like she was grateful for something she couldn't name. So I took the win and cooked steaks, and we ate on the patio. A normal night. A necessary lie. 2 weeks of nearly normal followed. She worked. I worked. We did groceries. We did laundry. We did bed. But her smile stopped reaching her eyes. When I talked about a weekend drive upstate, she nodded and never asked when. She started laughing at my jokes with a delay, like she was reading subtitles. At the shop, my foreman Pete clocked me staring into a parts bin. "You look like a guy who found a screw left over," he said, leaning on the workbench. "That ever feel good?" "Depends where the screw belongs." I kept sorting. "You ever get that thing where the dog stops wagging and you don't know why?" Pete wiped his hands. "Dogs don't stop wagging without a reason. People pretend they do. What's the fix? You stop pretending." That night, I booked a table at a small place Lauren had liked last spring. Candles, no crowd, good fish. I wore a jacket. She came out of the bedroom in a nice dress and boots, hair up. It should have been one of those nights where the couple next to you keeps glancing over wishing they were you. She slid into the booth across from me and looked at the menu like it was a contract she didn't want to sign. "You good?" I asked. "I'm hungry," she said. We ordered. I tried to start small talk. Work, Carol's new neighbor, the neighbor's dog trying to dig a tunnel under the fence. She gave me and ha, and wild, like she was sprinkling breadcrumbs for a bird that might not be there. I nudged. Remember that summer we did the lake twice a month? You made that playlist, all those old songs, and she looked past me. I remember. Talk died. Candle wax pooled. The fish came. When the bill hit the table, she reached for her bag like she wanted to get out before the credits rolled. On the sidewalk, I stopped. She kept walking. I let her go 10 steps, then called, "Lauren." She turned. I walked up. "I'm going to say this once, and then I'm going to act on it. Something's off. You're in the room with me, and you're somewhere else." She made a face. "I'm tired. We're all tired." Tired isn't secretive. Tired doesn't flip phones in its pocket. Tired doesn't miss when I'm talking to it. She folded her arms. "So now I'm lying? Pick a lane, Dan." "I'm not picking anything. I'm telling you my lane. I won't live with contempt. If you're in, be in. If you're out, be out. But don't play halfway and expect me to water that plant." She exhaled hard, checked her watch, then put it away like she caught herself. "You're making this bigger than it is." "I'm making it as big as it needs to be." I opened the truck door for her. "Here's my move. We're not kicking this can for weeks. We're going home. We're going to set simple rules. If you want new rules, say them out loud. If you want freedom, say freedom. But no gray." She slid into the seat like she had a speech loaded and decided to save it. On the ride home, she stared out at the stoplights like they were personal. We sat at the kitchen table with the good chairs. I wrote on a notepad like it was work. It helps me think. "Rule 1, I said. Phones face up, no hiding, no locking rooms to talk. Either of us can put a phone on the table when we're together. Not for control, for trust." She nodded, slow. "Okay. Rule 2, nights out are on the calendar a week ahead. Last-minute surprises happen. They don't happen 3 times in 1 week." She stared at the page. "Fine. Rule 3, if something's wrong, we say it. Not through jokes. Not through quiet. Words." She rolled the pen between her fingers. "Words. Sure." Rule 4. I set down the pen. "No running commentary at dinners. If there's a problem, we table it. We don't throw side shots in front of people who didn't sign up for our business." She flushed a little. "Was that about my mom?" "About your mom. About anybody. I don't do public baiting." She looked at me for a long second. "You're very organized." "I like working parts." I tapped the pad. "If these are too much, say so." "They're fine," she said, and she reached across and squeezed my hand. It was weak, but it was a squeeze. "I know I've been distracted. Work's been weird. Jess broke up with Tyler again, and I've been on the phone more than usual. I'll be better." "Good." She got up, came around, kissed the side of my face. "You made a list," she said, amused. "Of course you made a list." "I make lists when I want things to live." She laughed for real. We watched a movie. She put her legs over my lap and fell asleep with her hand over my wrist. It looked like change. It felt like a ceasefire. 2 days later, mid-turn, she showed up at the shop with coffee for me and a paper bag that smelled like breakfast. Pete raised his eyebrows over the fender. "Someone's cashing points," he muttered. Lauren set the coffee on my bench. "You have a 10? For what?" I parked in the lot across the street like a criminal. "It's cash only." I handed her a 20. She reached for my face. "I'm sorry about the other night," she said, quiet, so Pete wouldn't hear. "I've been in my head. You didn't deserve to sit across from a statue. Thanks for saying it. I'll fix it." She kissed me. "Dinner tonight." My turn. Pete watched her leave. "She's pretty," he said, and that apology looked expensive. It was a 20. Not the bill, buddy. That night she cooked. It was good. She laughed at my dumb story about a customer who insisted his engine made a noise, like a sad accordion. We went to bed at the same time. Her phone stayed face up on the dresser. I didn't study it. I don't enjoy being a guard dog. The little repairs held for a week. Then the schedule started to wobble. "I'm meeting Jess," she'd say from the hallway. "We'll have wine, maybe a movie." Or, "Mom wants help sorting the garage. She's getting rid of half her life. It's a mess. I don't lock people inside houses." She went. Twice she texted near midnight. "I might crash at Jess's. We're both wiped." Another time, "Mom's back is acting up. I'll stay to finish the kitchen." I sat in a quiet living room with the TV on low and thought about the map pins. A man can be patient. He can also choose not to be a mark. The next Saturday, neighbors had a backyard cookout. Fire pit, folding chairs, beers and coolers. Lauren stood with our neighbor Sandra and 2 other women by the cornhole boards. I joined them with a plate. The guys were trading inaccurate stories about high school glory. I watched Lauren do the thing again, whole body turning away when her phone buzzed, checking it behind her elbow, bright smile that didn't touch me. Sandra noticed. Sandra notices everything. She's blunt as a wrench. You two coming to the cabin next month? She asked, tossing a beanbag. We got a big cheap rental with a porch and nothing to do. Bring whatever you grill, don't bring kids. I answered, we haven't talked dates yet. Lauren, eyes still on her phone, said, I might be slammed. We'll see. Sandra side-eyed me. Might, she repeated. I set my plate down. We're not a maybe machine, I said. If we come, we come. If we don't, we say no like adults. I don't live in the land of later. Lauren looked up, surprised, then smiled tight. He's in a mood. Not a mood, I said, still easy. A rule. It keeps me from buying groceries for a ghost. Sandra laughed low. I like rules. Lauren pocketed her phone. Fine. We'll decide this week. Good, I said. Also, and this part was deliberate, public boundary, no drama. If you disappear for overnights, I want the address on the calendar. Same for me. Transparency. That's the only way grown-ups don't inventory each other like security guards. A couple people looked at their shoes. Lauren's eyebrows went up. Are you kidding me? At a cookout? No. I'm fitting it in while we both remember. That way we don't have another Carol's Kitchen moment. Sandra, God bless her, cut in. He's right. Write it down. Saves lives. She winked at me and handed Lauren a Sharpie. Here, write your secrets on the potato chips. We left early. No fireworks. Just a shift. In the car, Lauren stared ahead. You embarrassed me, she said. I prevented us from pretending, I said. You always have to win. I always have to live. Different sport. She shook her head. Then, another illusion of change. She reached for my hand on the console and threaded her fingers through mine. Look, I know I've been distant, she said. I swear to you, there is nothing ugly going on. I needed space with my friends. I needed to see my mom more. I'm not trying to make you feel small. You're succeeding anyway. I'll include you, she said quickly. I'll drag you along to Jess's. To Mom's, to everything if that shuts the door on this. You can be bored together with us. I don't want to be included as security. I want to be included because I'm your husband. She squeezed hard. You are. I promise. We'll do it together. Okay. I nodded once. I'll take that, and I'll verify it. You don't trust me? I trust patterns. I also trust myself. I released her hand gently. This isn't a lecture. It's a checkpoint. She did deliver for a minute. She invited me to Carol's the following Thursday. We chopped vegetables again. She told me 3 long stories about Jess's dog and Tyler's inability to assemble furniture. She made eye contact. She laughed at the appropriate 4 spots. She sat with me on the couch that night and put my hand under the throw blanket like we were teenagers. We went to bed at the same time again. I marked the effort. I didn't let it erase the earlier map. 2 weeks of calm rolled by. I took her to brunch. She texted me pictures of a dumb squirrel at the office trash can. We met Pete and his wife for tacos. Lauren even suggested a museum on a rainy Sunday. Everything looked repaired. The bolts were tight. The noise stopped. On day 15, she kissed me goodbye at 7 a.m., coffee mug in hand. Mom wants help with cooking, she said. She's trying to meal prep a month because she read some article. It'll take forever. I might stay over to finish. If you want to call and check, call. I'm not lying to you. Okay, I said. Tell her I said hello. Will do. She touched my chest with 2 fingers, a small beat we'd had for years. I watched her drive away. Work was normal. Pete dropped a wrench and swore at it in a creative new way that didn't break any rules. I got home, cleaned up, made a sandwich. The house was quiet. I read half a book in the chair by the window, then turned off lights and went to bed at 11. A decent day. At 3 a.m., a phone rang. Not mine. Lauren's, on her side of the bed. The house was so still I could count the beeps. I reached for it on instinct, more to shut it up. The caller ID read, husband number 2. I didn't breathe for a second. Then I did, because oxygen matters. I stared at the name like it might rearrange itself into spam likely. It rang again. I hit answer and held it, not saying a word. A man's voice, warm like he was calling from a couch. Babe, how about we meet tomorrow? I miss you. 2 weeks is too long. Your husband stopped suspecting you yet? My mouth worked before my temper did. "Hi, Mike," I said plain. "Her husband doesn't suspect anything now. You can relax. How's your wife? She not suspecting anything? I'm going to fix that right now." He hung up so fast he fumbled it. I stared at the dark screen with my face reflected in it and nodded to nobody. Mike, a name I knew, old friend of Lauren's, ancient stories, barbecues where he popped in as buddy from way back. Married a woman named Erin. We'd had dinner with him a handful of times in our earlier years. He'd always been charming in the way a salesman is charming when he's still deciding if he wants your money or your respect. I scrolled Lauren's contacts, found Erin. Called. She answered on the second ring, sleepy and irritated. "Hello. It's Dan," I said. "Lauren's husband." She sounded instantly awake. "Dan? What's wrong?" "Nothing's wrong with me. I just got a phone call to Lauren from a contact labeled husband number 2. The voice was Mike. He asked to meet tomorrow. Said it's been 2 weeks. Asked if I stopped suspecting. Thought you should know. I don't do rumors." Erin was quiet for a second that stretched. Then she breathed out like a tire going flat. "Mike told me he's on a fishing trip," she said. Her voice hardened. "He left tonight. Said he's off the grid. You're telling me he's not fishing?" "I'm telling you what I heard, with the exact words." "Thank you," she said, clipped. "I appreciate the call. I've had doubts. He's good at making me feel like I'm making noise for no reason." "You're not making noise," I said. "If you want to talk to Lauren too, you might get that chance." "I'd like that," she said. "I'm awake now." We hung up. The house hummed like houses hum at night. I sat on the edge of the bed with Lauren's phone in my hand, then set it down face up like it was radioactive and I was done collecting samples. If there was ever a moment for throwing things, this would be it. I don't throw. I impose order. I went to the closet and pulled down the luggage. I took her side of the dresser by the handles and I emptied it into the suitcases. Folded clothes, shoes, the extra charger she kept losing. I zipped everything tight and lined the bags by the front door in a neat row, like an airport without the lines. I took our wedding photo off the hallway shelf and put it in the hall closet. Not broken, not burning, just done being a showpiece. At 6, I made eggs. At 7:30, the garage door opened. Lauren came in carrying a tote bag and a paper sack like she actually had been at Carol's. Her hair was slightly messy, makeup smudged like she'd cooked 12 hours, and then brushed a couch. She saw the suitcases. Stopped. Looked at me. "What is this?" I dried my hands on a towel. "Your other husband called at 3, I said. "Wanted to set a date. I figured I'd help you move quickly. Also, his wife is looking forward to seeing you." She went white, then red, then pale again, like the color couldn't decide where to land. "What are you talking about?" Phone rang, I said. Name on it said husband number 2. "You handed me the face-up rule." I answered it. Heard a familiar voice. "He used your name. I used mine." He hung up. I called Erin, since she lives on this planet too. She set the bag on the floor a little too hard. "I can explain." "You can try. I'm not a judge. There's no jury here. I'm not even mad the way you want me to be. I'm efficient." I gestured at the bags. "You can take those to Carol's. Or to Mike's. Your call. It's not what you think. It's exactly what I think. It's also what he said." She took 2 steps toward me, hands out. "Dan, please. I messed up. I stopped it. We talked after your list night. I stopped it, I swear. Tonight I was at Mom's." You don't get points for stopping something you shouldn't have started. And if you stopped it, why does he still have your number under husband number 2? Her jaw worked. It was a joke. A stupid joke. "Everything's a joke until it's a rule," I said. "Do you want me to walk you through what happens next? Or do you want to argue about semantics until someone is late for work?" "I don't want to go anywhere," she said. Tears pooled. She didn't reach for me. She knew that would be useless. "I want to fix this. I will do anything. You'll do the thing you chose. You'll take your bags to your mom's. You'll give me the house for the month, and I'll give you the car for 2 weeks because I can buy another. You'll talk to Erin when she calls because I invited her to. Then you'll get a message from me with the paperwork that ends this without a fight. You won't touch my shop. You won't touch my savings. You'll keep what's yours. We'll be clean." She wiped her face with her sleeve like a kid. "I can't believe you're ending us like a checklist. You started ending us like a secret. This is the adult way." I picked up my keys. "Do you want me to come with you to Mike's so we can have a little house meeting? It could be fun for the neighbors." She flinched. "No." "Good. Then you can spare us both the speech. Take the bags." Dan. I raised a hand. Last thing. Do not turn this into a group therapy session with your friends. I'm not joining any circles. You and I are done negotiating feelings. We're negotiating logistics. She nodded, small, like she understood a language she didn't want to learn. She took the bags one by one to the car. She didn't slam a single door. She came back inside without the tote, stood there in the entryway, and tried one last time. Please, she said. I was lonely. I got stupid. I thought I could control it. Then you started noticing, and I panicked. But I chose you. I choose you now. You chose novelty, I said. You chose the excitement of being wanted without being accountable. You're not the first person to make that mistake. But you made it on my time. That part is over. She cried quietly, not pretty. I let her. When she could breathe, she whispered, Are you going to tell my mom? She'll ask. I'll tell the truth. I won't build a story. You can tell your version, but mine comes with a phone log. She nodded. I'm sorry, she said. I mean it. I believe you're sorry you got to this point, I said. I don't think you're sorry for all the steps that felt good. She swallowed. Do you hate me? No. I'm done with you. She walked out. The door clicked. I stood in the kitchen with my coffee and the stupid flowers from 2 weeks ago wilting in their vase like a joke about timing. Then I rinsed the vase, because dishes get done whether your life explodes or not. At 10, Carol called me. Lauren was here, she said, voice small in a way I'd never heard. She told me enough. I told her to apologize to you and leave you in peace. I am so sorry. It's not on you, I said. You raised a kind woman. She made a choice. I'm handling it. Are you okay? Carol asked. I'm organized, I answered. Aaron texted me a single line. He's home. 20 minutes later, another. He tried to deny. Then he folded. Thank you for the heads up. If you need to reach me, you can. I sent back, handled here. Good luck. I drove to the shop because moving helps. Pete looked at my face and didn't ask questions. He tossed me a rag. Vacuum pump on bay 2 is wheezing, he said. You want to dismantle something that deserves it. I took the pump apart. It was full of grime. Fixing it was satisfying in a way humans rarely are. At lunch, Pete finally asked, Careful, you and Lauren okay? We're ending, I said. Clean. No fireworks. He nodded, slow. You want a beer tonight? I want to work out, I said. A beer after. That we can do. I had the paperwork done by Tuesday. Friendly terms, clear splits. I left out spite. I left out stories. Lauren signed Thursday. She didn't try to grab anything that wasn't hers. If guilt can be honorable, she handled it honorably. I respected that piece of it. The house was weirdly quiet without her, but it was honest. I slept well. I went to work early and stayed late. I answered Sandra's nosy text with, We won't be at the cabin. She sent back a string of question marks, and then, If you need a lawn mower, take ours. That's Sandra. Practical sympathy. A month later, the divorce was done. I didn't put that on the internet. I didn't toast. I bought a small place on the edge of town with a garage big enough for 2 projects and a kitchen that didn't need to impress anyone. I traded my old truck for a newer one. I upgraded my tools because I could. I didn't go looking for a new woman like a man who needs a bandage. I met Ava at the gym at 6 a.m., both of us half awake and doing the exact opposite of making conversation. We bumped into each other over the same kettlebell, and she said, You first, you look like you'll use it for what it's for. She's a nurse. She doesn't talk when talking is noise. We started getting coffee after. Then breakfast. Then dinners. She asks direct questions and disappears for 12 hours when she's on shift without making me pay a toll for it. She knows what tired looks like. 2 months after the papers, I ran into Lauren at the farmer's market on a Saturday. She wore a hoodie and sunglasses and looked smaller than I remember. Not thin, just without the extra air people carry when they're sure of themselves. She saw me, hesitated, then walked over. Hi, she said. Hi. You look good. I sleep. She nodded, awkward smile. I'm doing okay. I'm with Mom for now. Figuring out my next place. Works fine. I'm not asking for anything. I just wanted to say, her eyes watered. She blinked them clear. I'm sorry. For all of it. I think about what I threw away and it makes me sick. You're not the only person who's thrown away a good thing, I said. But you did throw it. I know. She looked like she wanted to move toward me and thought better of it. If I could fix it. You can't. I wasn't cold. I was final. That chance is gone. She swallowed. I figured. We stood there a second in the noise of people buying tomatoes. I stepped forward and hugged her once. It wasn't tender and it wasn't mean. It was a closed file in human form. She held on a half-second longer than I did and let go. Take care of yourself, I told her. You too, she said. I mean it. I walked back to Ava, who was comparing peaches like it was a science. She glanced up, clocked my face, didn't ask for a story at the market. These are better, she said, handing me one. They smell like they're supposed to. We paid. We left. On the way to the truck, she asked, You okay? I'm good, I said. She apologized. Did you need that? I needed to mean what I said back then. I did. I opened the passenger door for her. I'm done with that chapter. That night, I grilled in my small backyard while Ava read on the steps and Pete texted dumb memes and asked if I'd bring the truck to the shop tomorrow so he could take pictures of the new toolbox. The air was plain. The music was low. Nobody was hiding anything behind a thigh. People like to talk about closure like it's a ceremony. It's not. It's a decision you enforce, and then it's a habit. I decided the night the phone rang and the name on it made my stomach go still. I enforced it with suitcases and sentences that didn't wobble. Now it's a habit. I'm careful with my time. I don't water plants that don't grow. If someone wants to be in my life, they walk through the door. Nobody gets to hold it open from the other side and ask me to thank them. If you're looking for fireworks at the end of a story like this, you won't get them from me. I don't set fires. I turn off the gas, lock the door, and take the keys with me. That's how men like me keep the house from burning down. And when someone calls at 3 in the morning under a name he thought was a joke, he finds out he dialed a man who keeps his own list and who follows it.